Hello to all my story lovers. Welcome back in Storytime channel. I'm Pallavi reading interesting stories for you. Today I'm reading chapter number 17 Shraddha, written by the great Sudha Murty and taken from the book The Day When I Stopped Drinking Milk. Sudha Murty shared her experience in this book. Now let's go through it. My father, Dr. R.H. Kulkarni, passed away 12 years ago. He was a doctor and a professor of gynecology in a medical college. He always believed that education for women is essential. So he sent me to an engineering college in 1968. It was a time when most girls' fathers could not even dream of doing that because of societal pressures. My father loved his daughters and son equally and had the same rules for all his children. He even divided his assets equally among all of us. My father's shraddha occurs on 30 October every year. Suresh was my father's favorite nephew and he always performed my father's memorial service. I kept money in a fixed deposit account and the interest occurring from this was used to meet the shraddha expenses in temple nearby. Every year, our family went to the temple, watched my cousin Suresh perform the shraddha, and had lunch together. Then in the evening, I went to an orphanage and gave fruits to the children. We had been following this routine for the past 11 years. Last year, however, Suresh was in Paris on work at the end of October and he was not available to perform the shraddha. But as usual, my family and I went to the temple. I sat on the bench waiting for the manager. I saw my friend Meera at the temple. She seemed worried. I asked her, "What's happened?" "My brother Murli has not reached here yet. Today is my mother's shraddha. I want it to be performed here because Murli said that this temple was near his new house." I knew Mira's family very well and was surprised by her answer. "Why has Murli shifted to a new house?" I asked. "What happened to your old house?" Mira's mother had been a school teacher. She had saved every penny of her salary and pension and built a nice house. She was extremely fond of her home and called it Sarthaka, which means fulfillment. She died a few years ago. Mira had already lost her father when she was a child. Her mother had single handedly raised Mira and her brother. With sadness, Mira replied, "As you know, Murli got into bad company. He had loans to repay, so he sold the house. Now he has rented a house near this temple. Yesterday I went and I begged him to come early to perform our mother's shraddha. I am even paying the entire cost for this ceremony." I fell silent and started looking around. There was an older lady sitting near us, and she seemed worried as well. I kept looking at her watch, glancing at the door. Casually, I asked her, "Are you waiting for somebody?" "Yes, I'm waiting for my son. He is a senior manager in a software company. Today is the release date of his project. He said that he would be here by this time. His cell phone is switched off and I don't know what has happened. If he doesn't show up, how will we perform my husband Shraddha. I am very concerned. I realized that three women were sitting on a bench waiting to perform shraddha for their loved ones. The temple manager came and asked us for the names of the people for whom we wanted to perform shraddha. All three of us promptly gave the names. Then he said proudly, Shraddha is a religious ceremony which is very important for the family. Today, the deceased, his or her father and forefather, that is, three generations of people, come down to earth in the form of the cow, the sun, and God. When a family member gives till seeds and water, your remembrance reaches them. Shraddha is a ceremony that must be performed with shraddha or devotion. He looked at us and said, Where are the male members of your families? Call them now. Tell them to get ready. I will arrange the three pandits to help them. Then he sat on a chair and started sorting through receipts. I replied, Sir, at this moment we don't have any male members from our families. Then I will call a helper from the kitchen. He will perform the shraddha on your family's behalf. For a second, I stopped. Then firmly, I said, No, sir. I can perform my father's shraddha. I don't need an unknown male to perform. Shraddha for someone he doesn't even know. The manager continued to sort through receipts. He did not even bother to look at me before answering. Sorry, madam. No woman can perform shraddha for anyone. This is the rule. If you cannot accept that, then just have lunch here, pray to God, and go home. No, sir, I can't accept your decision. I said, After all, this is my father's shraddha. As a daughter, I have the right to remember my father today. It is my duty to. Is there any book that says that a woman can't perform shraddha and that only male members are allowed to do so? The manager stopped sorting receipts and looked at me. He was taken aback by my answer. He could not believe what he was hearing. He said, It is a tradition. Sorry, sir. Tradition is different from ritual. A tradition passes down values to the next generation, but a ritual or ceremony is what you do by practice and habit. For example, performing shraddha is a tradition, but the fact that it's done by a man is a ritual. We shouldn't break the traditions, but ritual can be changed depending upon the circumstances. Rituals are almost always formed based on geographical, economic, and social conditions. The manager was not happy with my argument. Listen, madam, he said patiently. We have never allowed a woman to perform shraddha before. No woman has ever questioned our procedures till now. If it hasn't been done before, you can start today. I said, every journey starts with a single step. I don't think that it is wise to perform rituals without understanding them. My father used to tell me a story. There was a person who used to perform puja every day. The cat used to trouble him during his puja, so he told his son, Tie the cat and give it some milk every day when I do puja. The cat never troubled him again. After a few years, both the man and the cat died. The son took over and started performing the puja. Since the cat had died, he bought the neighbor's cat, tied it, and poured milk for the cat every day during puja time. The son had never understood why his father had asked him to give milk to the cat every day. It had become a meaningless ritual. You are doing the same thing. By this time, a crowd had formed around us, and people were listening to our argument. The manager said, "But, madam, how can a woman perform shraddha? Why can't she? When I wrote out check for this temple, you accepted it. You never checked whether it came from a man or a woman. In the olden days, there was a division of labor between men and women because large families stayed together. That's why men work outside at the home and women inside. Today, women work equally well in all fields. There is no difference. If you don't allow me to perform shraddha, you are establishing a fact that no daughter can perform her father's shraddha and no wife can perform her husband's shraddha just because she is a female. Does it mean that a woman has no feelings towards her brother, father, or husband? That is unfair. I am going to perform shraddha today, come what may. The manager was amused by insistence and said, "If that is so, we don't have any pandit who will be willing to help you perform shraddha." The crowd stayed silent and nobody took any sides. There were also many young and old pandits listening to us. I looked at them. "Is there anyone who can help me?" Some young priests smiled at me but did not step forward. To my surprise, an old man said, "I will help you perform your father's shraddha." I knew that this man was the most senior in the temple. Softly he continued, "I have seen sons who talk on their phones while performing shraddha. Their mind is never on the ceremony. I have seen men who go out, smoke, come back, and continue the ceremony. I have seen men who tell me that they will give me more money if I complete the ceremony in 5 minutes. Then there are others who do it with love and remembrance. But when men who are not interested can perform shraddha, why should a woman who is sincerely pleading be denied?" As per the tradition, we believe that the ancestors came down to the earth on the day of shraddha and they should not go back empty handed. I felt relieved and turned back. I saw that Meera and the older lady wanted to say something. Meera said, "I also want to perform my mother's shraddha." The older lady said, "I just got a call from my son. He says that he is stuck in a traffic jam." "Never mind, I will perform my husband's shraddha too." The old man gave each of us dharba ring made of dry straw, black teal and water. Then he said, "Come in, let us start." I am sure my father loved the shraddha that year. I could feel my father, grandfather, and great grandfather smiling down at me proudly. After the ceremony, I thought to myself, with age, I was wondering if I had started accepting male dominated society. But now I know that it isn't true. No wonder I wrote that letter to JRD Tata in 1974. Do you like her experience? Then tell me in the comment box and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching, guys.